Hi guys, so good morning once again, everyone. I'm audible online. Yeah. Okay, guys. So let's proceed with the session. So in the last class, what is the topic we have seen? Data types. In which what we have seen the classification of four things in the primitive data type. See, guys, there are two classifications we have seen in data type. One is the primitive data type. One is the non-primitive. In the primitive, four sub-classification: number, real data, character, and Boolean. Okay. In the number, what we have seen four classification. That is, what is that? Byte, short, int, and number. For byte, how many bytes will be allocated? 1 byte, for which 8 bits will be allocated. Where each bit will represent either 0 or either 1. That you have understood, right? So, and for the short, how many bytes will be allocated? 2 bytes. For integer, 4 bytes. For long, 8 bytes. Next, we'll come to the, and we have seen the formula, right? That is yesterday. How to calculate? That is minus 2 power n minus 1 to 2 power n minus 1 minus 1. This is the formula using which what we can do. We can calculate the range of any data type to where the data can be stored. Am I clear? Yes or no? And next we'll come to the real data. We'll come to the, there is something called float and double. Okay, float and double. These are the two data types that will store the data. Along with that number, the floating decimal points will be also be stored. For an example, if you declare in a is equals to 10.2, okay, then what will happen? It will not store the data. If you try to write in a system.out.println a, output will come as only 10. It will not print 0.2. Why? Because the int data type is used to store only a whole number, but floating number will not be stored inside this. Understood? So all the things, that is byte, short, int, and long, will store the whole number only based on the range, but floating after decimal point, it will not store any other data. Got the clarity? So I want to store this decimal points also. At that time, what you can do? You can go for these two data types. Okay. For an example, float. That is, I'll tell it as something called float. F is equals to 10.23. F if you mention, then what will happen? If you write system.out.println, then output of F if you mention, output will be 10.23. And what is this F we have written? We call it as a suffix. Okay, whenever you declare a float data type, to make it understand it is of type float, what you have to do? You have to mention F at the end, so that it will understand it is a float data type. Sir, what will happen if I don't mention here as a float? At that time, what will happen? It will throw one small error. Why error? Because here one error will come saying that first this 10.2523, I assume that this data type value is of type double, but you have declared here as float. Then what I should consider, whether it is double value or float value. Since you have declared here as a float, you should tell this one is also a float value. Hence, you should declare this as a F. F is a suffix value. It does not change any value. It will just tell it is of type float. Yes, clear?
पैरामीटर में आपको प्रोग्राम में लाके बनाए थे उसमें 500 divided by 200 के उसका आंसर है 0.4
0.4 आया
500 को 200 में डिवाइड करेंगे तो 0.4 आएगा।
ओके,
मान लो तो सर 0 से तो करा 0.4
नहीं स्टोर करना। क्यों? उधर आपने डेटा टाइप डिक्लेयर किया होगा इंट। अगर आप फ्लोट और डबल डिक्लेयर करेंगे तो 0.4 आएगा।
और ये मीन करेंगे तो
नहीं है, सिर्फ होल नंबर, ये जो स्टार्टिंग का नंबर होता है ना, यही डिक्लेयर करेगा। आफ्टर डेसिमल इट विल नॉट शो। ट्राई करो उसी प्रोग्राम को फ्लोट डिक्लेयर करो जब आपको डेसिमल पॉइंट्स भी आए। अंडरस्टूड? डबल भी, यस। फ्लोट इट विल टेक स्टोर हाउ मेनी 4 bytes. If you want to store big number, then go to double, it will take 8 bytes. Okay, bigger number along with the decimal point. Now there is one, see here, float and double follows the IEEE format to store the data in the memory. Okay, now if I start explaining, it will take at least 1 or 2 classes for me, which is not at all useful for you, which will not even ask in an interview. So I'll not go in depth of how to show it will convert into the memory, how decimal point is moved, not at all required. It will take 1 or 2 classes. It is a big process. Some 5 to 6 steps you have to follow. A big calculation you need to do so that you can store this value into that memory. But it happens automatically. You need not to worry. It will not be asked in an interview. Okay. Just remember that float and I double will make use of IEEE format to store such kind of a decimal point values in their memory. And float will occupy what? 4 bytes. Double will occupy 8 bytes. Clear? Online student, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Online? Yeah. Okay. So let's jump to the another data type. Another data type, we have something called a character for which the primitive data type that has been defined is something called a char here. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you will declare the data type in double,
Okay.
then what will be the suffix? The if only or
No. There is for that there is no suffix.
no suffix for double?
If in case you can try to mention as D, but that's fine. For double, it will not throw any error. For float only, it will try to throw error. Why? Because this value tends to store in double, but you have declared as a float. At that time, it is getting confused. That time you will be required that suffix. Okay. Yeah. So next is the data type something called character, and the primitive data type is of what? Char. Now, why this char is used? The char is nothing but one such data type which is basically used to store a character in the program. Okay, what does the character mean? A single letter, a single letter. That's it. Okay, it is used to just store a single character. For an example, I want to store character C is equals to A. Okay, remember guys, this is how you have to remember store a character inside a character data type in which a single character should be there, and always a character should be enclosed with a single quote. Okay, single quote. Double quotes means it will become string. But if it is a single quote, then only it will be considered as a character. Okay, for string, double quotes, and your data type will be a string, and for a character, data type is character, and a single letter should become, and a single letter should be enclosed with a single quote, and for that only we call it as a character. Clear? Yes. And the next data type we have something called Boolean. Okay, Boolean, it is nothing but that the primitive data type is something called a Boolean. Remember guys, I am writing a capital full letter here, and here I am writing what? Small letter here. Okay, why? Because this we call it as a primitive data type. I'll tell you why upper character, lower character, what is the difference in that also. Okay, when I take the concept of wrapper classes, I'll teach you. Okay, when come to the Boolean, it is nothing but, sir, if there is a string, why do we need a character? Now, surprise, here string means it will store more than one group or one character, more than one character. If you want to store only one character, for that specifically you can declare it as something called character. Understood? Now you might ask, sir, that one character I can store it in string. Yes, you can store it. There is no problem. But along with that, one special character they have declared, for which only if in case you want to store one single character. Now in the string, what the user can do, he can manipulate and he can store more than one character. No, you want to force him to store only one character. For an example, gender, like F stands for female, M stands for male. At that time, what is there? If user writes MA, then again what is there? So you know use. We required only one character information. At that time, what we can do? We can force him to store only single character. Is it clear? Okay. Now this character data type plays very vital role for your programming concepts. Okay. When we deal with programming concepts on strings, okay, at that time character plays very vital role to solve the complex programs. Okay, your programming trainer when he comes, he'll start this concept, he'll teach, but I'll also teach you some programs. Okay. Yeah, when come to the Boolean, Boolean is nothing but one such data type which is used to store the Boolean value. There are only two types of Boolean value available. That is, either it is a true value, okay, either it is a true value or either it is a false value. Either it is a true value or either it is a false value. Means what is that? Either it will take so true, Boolean is equals to Boolean B is equals to true or Boolean B is equals to false. Only two values. Apart from that, you cannot store anything in this Boolean data. Now, why, in which places can we use this Boolean data type? If you ask me, when we need to store something called flag information. For an example, what I'll do, I'll write a code such that it will go and from the front end, what I'll do, I'll pass username and password. Okay, that is, if it will go and communicate with my database. After that, it will check in the database. That is username, password. If it is correct, then what will happen? It will return me a flag status as true. If not, it will return false. Based on this true or false, what I can do? I can do a judgment over there. Or what is that? I can take a decision. We have seen conditional statements. Have we started if else we have seen? No, right? We have not started. Okay, there you will understand in depth about this condition. What is that? Information of Boolean values. That is, if it is a true, what will happen? If it is a false, what will happen? How we are making or giving my program a ability to take a decision for how to proceed ahead based on the input or the logic what we have written over. Clear? Okay. So take down the next heading as next heading. You take down as float or double. Float you write down. Float data type. And below that you write down. Float data type is basically used to store the number along with the decimal points. Okay. Next point you write down. A float value should be followed by a suffix. A float value should be followed by a suffix f, small f. So followed by a suffix f. Example, write on this one. Float f is equals to 10.23 f. Float f is equals to 10.23 f. Done. Next point you write down. A float allocates 4 bytes of memory. Float data type occupies 4 bytes of memory. Float data type occupies 4 bytes of memory. Okay. Next heading you take down as double and write down the same above point. Okay, but for double you write down it will allocates what? 8 bytes of memory, but they don't mention about suffix. Completed? Take down the next heading as char. char small c char. It is one such data type. It is one such data type which is used to store a character value. Character value which is used to store a character value. Okay, next point to write down. Character value means only a single alphabet. Only a single alphabet. Character value means only a single alphabet. Next point you write down. Next point, that is always a character value should be enclosed by single quote. Enclosed by single quote. Enclosed by single quote. Okay, write down the example. Char C is equal to, in the single quote you mention A. CHAR space A is equal to, in the single quote mention A semicolon. Example. Okay. Next, take down heading as Boolean. Below that you write down. Boolean is a data type. Which has the ability to store. Boolean is a data type which has the ability to store only two values. That is either true, small letter t, okay, true or false, small letter f, false, true or false. Done. Okay. Now you people didn't ask, sir, how much memory will be allocated for character and Boolean. Yes. Okay. Before answering that, just look at my screen. Okay. See guys, what I'll do, I'll declare here as int a is equals to 10.23. Okay. And you can see error is coming here. Why? Because we have declared the data type as int and I'm trying to store what? Floating type value. Hence it is throwing me error, saying that I cannot convert from double to int. Understood why I told when you declare a float data type, error will come if you don't mention f. Why? Because that value will tend to store the value as a double value. But since you have declared as a float, it will throw me that particular error. Now what I'll do, I'll declare here as something called float here. And can you see here again error is coming up? I'll look at here, it cannot convert float to double. Thinks that it is a float type one. But if you mention here as f, can you see error has gone up? Okay, now if in case you want, I can print and show you what is the value of f now. Okay, I'll run as Java application. Also, sorry. Java application, and you can see here what is happening. The floating point value is also getting printed. Yes. And for double also, we can mention here. See here, for double, if in case, okay, can you see here, there is no error is coming. Even though if I'm declaring f here, no error is coming. Why? Because I'll tell you about that one. There is something called explicit and implicit typecasting concept. I'll teach you when the time comes. And look at here. Wait, I didn't print right. Okay, you can see here. Go see here now. What is the value coming? Output should be same, right? Remember, what is that I told? For double, how many bytes will be allocated? 8 bits. For float, only to 4 bytes. Look at here. That is approximately, if I round up this number, then it will be 10.23 only, right? That is 22999, which is approximately 23 only. Okay. But why this value is getting changed? What is the problem? Because the what I told, that is explicit and implicit typecasting is the problem. Okay, what happened when if you take a smaller thing and put it in some other thing while adding the data in a bigger bucket? Assume that smaller bucket you are putting into the bigger bucket. Okay, and adding at that time there is always a issue of spillage. Small quantity will be lost. That is the problem. But in that, I'll take the concept of typecasting. I'll explain. Is it clear? Float and double is clear. Okay. Next is the character. Now look at here. Until character C is equals to, if I mention in double quotes A, can you see an error is coming? Yes. I'll mention in a single quote. At that time, you can see no error is coming. And if I mention here as A, it will run, sorry, C, right? Run as Java application. And you can see here, A is getting by. Means if I try to store more than one character, can you see an error is coming? String लगाएंगे तो ठीक हो जाए. उसमें double quotes भी लगाना पड़ेगा. Understood? Online student, is it clear till here? Please let me know if you have any doubts. Yes? Yes? Okay, great. So next is what? Boolean data type. Okay, I'll declare here as something called Boolean. Boolean, let me tell B is equals to either true value I can give, or I can tell Boolean, let me tell C is equals to something called false. Okay. Apart from that, if you try to store any other value in the Boolean, it will throw you an error. I'll tell here as something called B, and I'll also try to tell here as something called C, and I'll run this program and I'll show you. You can see here what is the output I'm getting, either true or false. Okay. Apart from true or false, you give any other thing, it will throw you error. Okay. So next point about the memory occupation of this character and Boolean. Okay. Now this you need to understand one small thing here. One small, I'll go in depth of the story. I'll just try to wind up as much as possible about that story. Now, if in case interview the last, how many bytes will be allocated for character data type? You need to explicitly mention that is, since this Java, okay, Java is the language we are dealing with. Now tell me guys, Java is a architectural neutral language. Yes, we have seen, right? And we have seen that we can code in one machine and execute in another machine. Platform independence, portability comes. Remember this one? Means we can code here, we can execute anywhere. Means Java is one such language using which we can develop an application that is being supported in all the languages. Means using Java language, we can create an application which can use Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, Kannada, Marathi, every language we can. All the things that are available in the world. Okay. Now, what happened here is, आ जाएगा. अब वो कैसे मत पूछो अभी. ठीक है. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's proceed now. See here, when come to the character data type, just remember for your extra knowledge I'm telling you now. Okay, when it comes to the character data type, Java can be developed, used to develop any language. Now, if you see the keyboard which we have in your computer, how many, is there any other language apart from English over there? Sure, इंग्लिश है ना इतना ध्यान से देख रहे हो कभी देखा नहीं है चलो ठीक है अभी समझ लेते हैं देखो see guys if you see that only English alphabet a special character some key special characters number means all the things if you accommodate also only it will consider how many English languages and if you totally count that keyboard it will be 128 characters are available. That is, if I consider 0 as 1, A as 1, small a as 1, that is special character, and what is that exclamatory at the rate, like this, all the characters, number, uppercase, lowercase, character, space, everything, if you calculate how many characters are there, means 128 are there. Okay, in English, for English only, 128 are there. Now, so many languages are there, they make use of something called ASCII. Okay, ASCII, that is American Standard Code of International something Information Interchange. Okay, thank you for that. So this is what the ASCII stands for. Means most of the language which supports only English, they go with the ASCII values. But Java not only support English language, it supports other languages. For an example, in Kannada, there are apart from English, there are something called 48 characters as per I remember. In Hindi, how many are there? 49, 49 are there. In Telugu, how many are there? No. Like this, if I keep on going, there will be so many characters. So tell me, all those characters are available in my computer. No, those Britishers, when they came to India, they not only dominated on our language also, but here they are also ruling the world also now also. But what happened here, when these Java developers are there, na, when they started using this ASCII values over there, they came to know that one problem there, that is, if I use this ASCII as a standard for Java, then I will be stick on to only English language, no other language can be developed. So what they did, Java people, they said, no boss, I will not use ASCII. Instead of that, I use something else. What is that? Else means UTF, Uniform Unicode Transformation Format, something is there. You just try to Google UTF stand for. In the UTF, 3 classifications we have done. Okay, UTF 8, UTF 16, UTF 32. Don't worry, no one will ask all this in an interview. For your knowledge, I'm telling you. Okay. UTF is nothing but one such thing. It is same as ASCII only. It contains more characters when compared to ASCII. More characters when compared to ASCII. Okay. The small websites will be using UTF-8. You would have seen when your front-end language, something UTF-8 they have mentioned. They'll use this UTF. Small websites, they'll using UTF-8. And Java, but that will not be this UTF-8 does not contain every character that we are using in the now in today's one. Okay, so what happened? The Java people discarded UTF-8 also, and there is one more thing called UTF-16. UTF-16, if you ask for my remembrance, and that is more than 32,000 or something is there. Okay, what is the value of short? 32,768. 768, right? I guess, yeah, these many characters, not 100% sure about this, but yeah, so many characters that are available in UTF-16 that are accommodated, that is more than sufficient to accommodate the current languages which is being widely used in today's world. Widely used in today's, like Hindi, English, Telugu, Tamil, other countries' language, every language, every character can be accommodated in UTF-16. Hence, what is there? Java is using UTF-16 as its language. Okay, which one it will not for we use ASCII value means up to 0 to 128, which we are using English now. It will be same. After 128, what will happen? It will using what? UTF-16. UTF-16 also contains the same characters up to 0 to 120. Understanding? Now, where is this UTF-32 used? Now, you might have seen some movies. Okay, that is what will happen. They will go for the explorers. Okay, like Egypt. You have seen the Mummy movie, the Mummy. In which what will happen? They will go inside a pyramid. On the walls, they would have written some language. Do you think it is be understood by you and me? No, it will be understood by archaeological people, archaeologists. Yes or no? Means that language is it widely used in today's level? No, right? But that is also one language. But that is also need to be stored, preserved, read, and understood so that it may help somewhere. May such languages also been included along with today's world language, that is UTF-32. UTF-32 contains today's word and as well as ancient language also, that is UTF-32. But Java, which one is using? UTF-16. If you see, if you ask about the memory, it will also allocate 2 bytes of memory. That is UTF-16. 8 character for 8, one more 8, that is 888, that is 16. 2 bytes of memory. Is it clear? Next, when come to the Boolean. Next one come to the Boolean. It is here. People says that. Sorry. People says that it allocates how many? 1 byte of memory. Okay. People says that it allocates 1 byte of memory. Most of the time in the internet also, you'll find the same thing, 1 byte. But actual truth is that the Boolean data type memory always depends on the JVM. Okay. Which version of JVM you have installed, which version of JVM I have installed. But most of the time, if you take average or approximately, it will be 1 byte. That is the reason in the internet or everyone they will be saying as 1 byte, 1 byte. But actual truth, it always depends on the JVM which you have installed. Clear? That is Java use UTF-16, which is used to allocate 2 bytes of memory. Boolean will allocate 1 byte, which is always depends on the JVM. This is the story. Is it clear? Yes. Understood. Make a note of that. Character allocates 2 bytes. Boolean, that is depends on JVM, but tends to store 1 byte of memory.
सर non-primitive data type कुछ नहीं
है पूरी जिंदगी उसी में जीना है स्टार्ट करेंगे but explicitly for non-primitive or not we will start the concept like arrays, data structures, collections and all those things will come in the non-primitive data tools.
सर ये रिव्यू चाहे ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रोसेस से इंपोर्टेड है क्या उसे बाइट में कितना भी बाइट में शॉर्ट में कितना बैठता है
Yes, इसलिए बोलो I'm telling ना find how many memory bytes will allocate integer, how many bytes are that they will ask. Apart from that, in depth, all those things they will not ask. Because for fresher, those things are expected questions. Done, huh? So you guys are good at addition, huh? Mathematics you guys are good. अच्छा आता है? Marks कमजोर है तुम्हारा? Online you guys are good at mathematics. Little bit, huh? Oh, don't worry. I'll not ask differentiation, integration, all those things. I'll ask addition and subtraction. That you guys are good at. Sure, huh? 1 plus 1. Sure, huh? 1 minus 1. 0 only, right? Okay. Well, fine. This much addition, subtraction, you know, that is sufficient. Why? Because my next topic is going to deal with the same thing, addition and subtraction. Okay. So go home today, practice addition, subtraction, and come. Tomorrow we'll see. Or we can start now only, but we have very less time now to start a new topic. That is the reason. It's okay. We'll start with tomorrow only. But tomorrow, just be prepared and come. We'll see so many good things, okay, about addition and subtraction. What they'll expect you to answer in an interview about addition and subtraction. Okay, fine, guys. Thank you. That's it from my side. I'm winding up 15 minutes early today. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow then. Thank you.